good afternoon, everybody. So just real quickly, kind of going from our principles of meat cookery, we're going to talk a little bit about this flank steak, okay, steak. Not all fat in beef is going to be bad fat. Okay, we kind of talked about a little bit about marbling and that fat, how it's really good fat, how it really matters about the quality of beef that we're getting. Okay, but we're going to talk about this little outer piece of fat here and maybe some silver skin and how we really need to trim that off. Okay. The most important thing you're really going to need is a nice sharp knife. Okay, this is a bony knife. It's really nice and narrow, easy to get in between. So we're not taking off a lot of the meat. Right, we're spending a lot of money on this product. Okay, so we definitely want to keep as much as we can on this piece of meat. Okay, so obviously when we cook it, we actually get to eat it. Okay, the flank steak, I wanted to use the flank steak because I also want to talk about grain and how the grain runs, right? We all do know that grain is the directions in which the muscle tissues will run, right? Which they run, and you can really see in the flank steak how which way they run. If I'm holding it this way, they're really going north and south, and you can kind of even see it almost even breaking apart. Okay, so that's our grain. So when we carve meat, okay, we always want to carve it against the grain, And we're going to talk a little bit about why we want to do that. Okay, but first and foremost, I just want to clean this steak up. Okay, I like this nice little piece of flank steak. It's not too skinny, it's not too, not too big. It's going to be perfect for grilling on a nice hot day, perfect for tacos. Okay, but I'm going to use this nice sharp knife and just kind of run it along, and I'm going to take off some of this outer fat. Okay, like I said, you don't need to take it all off. A lot of it will melt in the cooking process, and that's really what we want. That's good stuff. It could also act as like a little bit of a protective layer, okay, when we are grilling. But some of the stuff you do want to take off. It is going to be a little fatty. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to run my knife kind of nice and narrowly through this, not taking off a lot of the meat. Okay. And what that's going to kind of start exposing, okay, nice sharp knife is going to be crucial. You just kind of let the knife do the work for you. Okay. But all this is really not going to be what you really want in your mouth, right? I mean, your teeth can really taste that fat. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and kind of trim up as much of this as we can. And as we start getting a little bit more down here, you can see this connective tissue. Okay, and see how silver that is. That's called silver skin or elastin. Okay, this will not break down in cooking. This needs to be removed. Okay, and this is in all pieces of meat. Okay, pork or beef, tenderloins tend to have a long piece of it. Okay, this is the connective tissue that we really need to take off. Okay, this is going to be the one. As I kind of mentioned, a lot of that connective tissue will melt. Well, this one, unfortunately, will not, and your teeth will definitely be able to feel that sensation and that toughness. Okay, so let me try to just move this around. Let's try to take him off. I kind of plop this meat up, run this knife gently through, okay, and we're just going to kind of run it along here and try to take off this silver skin. Okay. The more practice, the better you will get. Okay, the better you will get. Let's try to take most of this off pretty quickly here. I think we're doing okay. Okay, as you can see, the silver skin might even go more into the meat here. I'm not going to trim off this whole layer, right? This is nice edible meat. I want to keep him there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn him over, and we might have just a little bit more silver skin kind of lying around the bottom here. Okay, we're just going to trim him up, not do too much. Use this nice sharp knife to really get in there. Trim off that piece of fat here. Okay. And other than that, a lot of this stuff you can even almost pull off. Okay, so very good. Okay. So going back to the grain, okay, the grain. As you can imagine, this nice long string and me pulling the meat this way, right, it is not going to break apart very easily. Okay, your teeth can feel that as well. Okay, as you can imagine, if we were to cut a piece of this off, and you can really see me pulling the grain apart, and you can even see it start automatically falling apart. Okay, start falling apart. This is what your teeth want, right? This is that tenderness that we want. So once we cook our meat, we're really going to want to slice it against the grain, right? So that when we do chew, it falls apart when we're chewing it, right? Unlike having a nice long piece, right, or a string that we're trying to really yank. Okay, that's kind of be the best way that I can really describe it, if that makes sense. For these nice little thin pieces of meat, I like to use a dry rub. Okay, this is more of a Latin-inspired dry rub. It's chili powder, coriander, which is just cumin. Okay, cumin seed, that's really ground. I got a little bit of cinnamon in there, some chili flakes. What else I have in here? That's about it. Oh, oregano maybe. And then basically I'm just going to use this because it's really quick and easy. It's going to add really nice, intense flavor. And I really love grilling it. Okay, you can even add like a little bit of coffee in here also, right? Give it a nice little smoky flavor. Okay, but this is going to be a really easy way to season your meat and give it a whole nother complexity that maybe you're not used to, or maybe people around you aren't really used to. Maybe they're going to be like, wow, you're actually doing something really well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and season this guy up. You don't need to marinate them for long or season them for long. That's why I like rubs so much. They're kind of a quick and easy thing ready to go. And when I'm cooking flank steak, I don't want it to be a long process, right? I want to be eating it relatively quickly. So I think this, spice rubs are kind of the way to go when going with this more skinny, okay, fast cooking beefs, especially on the grill. Okay, especially on the grill. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grill them up next.